Welcome to another episode of The America's Property Show, your number one source on everything in the world of real estate. We talk coaching, management, entrepreneurship, marketing, local insights, and so much more. This is America's Property Show.
Hey everyone, it's me, America, your favorite real estate professional here in the Upstate, and today we have an amazing woman, an entrepreneur, an amazing doctor, Dr. Chapman. I want to tell you just a little bit. She has been in this industry for more than 13 years. She has 2 offices, one in Greenville and one in Spartanburg, and she is just changing people's lives, and I want you to know more about it, but I'll let her speak more since she can do it a lot better than I do. Welcome, Dr. Chapman. How are you? And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, America. I'm Dr. Brandy Chapman, and I own Carolina Spine and Health. So like America said, we have 2 locations, one off Poinsett Highway in Greenville, and our newest location is in Spartanburg off Asheville Highway near Cleveland Park. And my clinics are fully bilingual because I am fluent in Spanish.
Wow.
Which is fantastic because it allows us to treat double the people.
Right. For people that don't know you yet,
yes.
You are very well known. I mean, you are. I've seen you on magazines, commercials, all over the place. You're on top of it. But for those few that don't know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and where you learned Spanish?
Yes. So I am originally from North Carolina. So I'm a Hickory girl.
Okay.
Which is the furniture capital of the world. If you need furniture, go to Hickory. It's way better. And the price is better. But
I'm sold.
Yes. So Hickory is like 2 hours away from Greenville. It's on the other side of the mountains, like on the other side of Asheville. So that's where I grew up. And I went to college at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm a Tar Heel.
I'm
a Tar Heel here in a Gamecock state. So, and then I went to chiropractic school in Spartanburg. So I did grad school in Spartanburg, and that's kind of how I came to the Upstate. And people always ask me, I don't look like I speak Spanish, right? When you look at me, you don't expect that.
Right, no.
Which I've used actually in a couple of situations.
And then I kind of expect like a broken Spanish, but no, she's fluent. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. But I've had a lot of practice because in my Greenville office, 70% of my patients are Hispanic.
Okay.
And, everyone always asks how I came to speak Spanish because, again, I don't look like it. But when I was little, where I'm from, in public school, I went to public school. Mm-hmm. Okay. I do not come from money. Okay. I am your average country girl that has just worked really hard to get where I am. And the first school that I went to, we learned French in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. And so then we moved to another county, and in that county they did Spanish. So in the 3rd grade I started with Spanish. And then we moved back, and I actually had to do a survey class with Spanish, French, and German. Mm-hmm. And I really liked Spanish. And so I chose Spanish in the 6th grade, and I stayed with Spanish all the way through high school, Spanish 3, National Spanish Honor Society. And then when I went to Chapel Hill, I placed really high in my test, and so it was only a few more classes for me to actually minor in Spanish. So I went to Chapel Hill, and I was pre-med, but I was actually an English major with triple minors in biology, chemistry, and Spanish.
Wow.
So, and then I just stuck with it. Uh-huh. And, when you minor in Spanish or major in Spanish, you also do cultural studies. You read in Spanish, you write in Spanish. And one time I was writing for a paper for my English class, mm-hmm. and in my mind I switched over to Spanish, and I had written a whole page in Spanish before I realized it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got to the end, and I was like,
it happens.
I'm proud that I could do that.
Right.
So, and again, when I started in chiropractic, I went to work for Domain Chiropractic in Charlotte, which is a predominantly Hispanic patient.
Pretty cool commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a lot of commercials. So, I went to work there, and I had to learn Spanish for chiropractic. I had to learn medical Spanish, which I did not learn in school. Mm. But, it wasn't difficult. So, and a lot of times I just ask the patients, ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? And, now I know. And so that's how I came to learn Spanish. And again, it allows me to treat double the people. Right. And the area that we're in, Greenville, Spartanburg, has such a large Hispanic population, and and our Hispanic population are the drivers of America. These are the people building our country, right? And so
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm building.
You're building.
And I'm Hispanic, so yeah.
Yes. And so, I love that I can do that and I can educate the public, because I know most of the countries, that my patients came from didn't have chiropractic. And so, we have this big mission of educating people on what is chiropractic, how does it benefit your life, why should you do it?
Right.
And so,
I know you do a podcast.
I do.
Too, right?
I do a live radio show every Tuesday.
Okay.
On 102.9, which is also, it's on the program with El Comandante. We've been with him for a long time.
How long?
10 years.
Oh, wow.
10 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a vet.
I just work hard.
I was just telling her before the cameras that I'm a newbie and she's been doing this, so she is great. I would like to know, because you mentioned something that really triggered my attention. Mm-hmm. You said you have a mission to inform people, and that's my mission, to inform people as well. Let's let people know the importance of getting treated.
Okay.
Please help me out with that.
So as of right now, less than 20% of the country utilizes chiropractic. Mm-hmm. And that's just, as a profession, that's our fault, because we haven't done a good enough job of educating people. Right. Because if you know what chiropractic is, everyone would do it. The dentists have done a better job than us at educating. Yeah. But that's a big mission for me, is to educate. And so basically chiropractic is, it's a natural treatment. It is focused on the musculoskeletal system. So we basically look at positioning. Mm-hmm. We look at positioning of the spine, of really everything that involves a bone. Mm-hmm. So not only do we do the spine and the pelvis, but we also do shoulders, knees, ankles, because every joint in your body has a proper alignment. Mm-hmm. And so in the spine, in the body, between your spine, your shoulders, and your hips, you have a frame. Okay. And so in your spine, you actually have 24 individually moving joints, and those guys move freely until all of a sudden you have a trauma, big or little. Car accidents, falls, lifting injuries, repetitive activity at work can cause you to have this shift, and whenever you have that, your body can't fix it by itself. Okay, so that's what I do.
Wow.
Now, if you leave it like this, what happens is over time, the side of the joint that's under pressure will actually start to break down and change shape, and that's how you develop degeneration and arthritis. So arthritis is not a function of how old you are. It's actually a function of what's happened to you in life.
So you can actually avoid it?
Yes.
Wow, no way. I did not know that.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Now, some people, have a genetic propensity to be more vulnerable to it, but osteoarthritis, which is the most common overuse arthritis, if you protect the alignment of your joints, you can definitely minimize and prevent that. And even if you have severe arthritis is the result of all these traumas that have happened to you and the misalignment. So even if you have arthritis, if we can restore proper balance and curvature to your spine, we can completely stop that degenerative process.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people suffering, that wouldn't have had to suffer had we gotten them sooner. Mm-hmm. But either way, are going to their family doctors and being told you have arthritis.
Right.
There's no treatment for arthritis, or there's no cure. There are some high-powered drugs now that you can treat arthritis with, but over the years, those have been shown to have some pretty significant side effects. And a lot of people just think there's no hope once they've been told that, and that's not true. And that's what we do.
There's no need to live with pain when you can avoid it, right?
Absolutely.
I know people, and one of the reasons why we got in touch with each other is because I know a few patients of yours that had these situations, and you were able to completely change their lives. Mm-hmm. I know of someone who had terrible migraines, and these migraines would throw this person in bed for even days. Mm-hmm. And they got treated with you. Mm-hmm. Those migraines are gone.
Yep.
What's the magic?
Well, people would typically not associate migraines or headaches in general with chiropractic, but there are three main causes of headaches. Number one is dehydration. So if you're suffering from headaches, the first thing you want to do is up your water intake. That's the easiest thing.
Okay.
Number two is high blood pressure. So if you get your headaches more in the morning, it could be coming from your blood pressure. Check it. A normal blood pressure is 135/85. So if you're above on either one of those numbers, that's something you need to visit your medical doctor for. I don't treat blood pressure.
Okay.
But the third main main cause of headaches and migraines is called cervicogenic, meaning it comes from the neck. And so what happens is I was telling you, you have an alignment in your spine. And so from the side in your spine, we have curves. So your neck curves to the front, your mid back to the back, low back to the front, and sacrum to the back. And we're built like a big spring. Okay. So we're supposed to bounce. So every step you take, you're bouncing. Okay. Right. But through those traumas in life, that damages the curve. And especially now, like with the age of technology and phones and computers, you know, we've lost our curve. And so again, when you have a neck that supports the weight of the head and it bounces, everything's fine. But when that neck goes straight, or even worse, backwards, the joints in your spine are like your knuckles. They're hinge joints. And so just imagine if you go this way and you have an 8 to 20 pound head coming down on those joints all the time, that compression is what causes headaches.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it's also, you know, as you lose your curve, you also often move forward. So your head moves forward of your shoulders. And so when you've got your head kind of dangling out here, the muscles.
That looks painful already.
Right?
Yeah.
And okay, having chiropractic eyes, when I'm in public, I'm like,
Oh, goodness. You know, I was thinking just of that. I'm like, she's judging my posture right now. She's so doing that.
You have great posture now.
Okay, thank you.
But when heads get out here, these muscles are now acting like cables, like suspension cables, just to hold your head up all day. And that's a lot of stress for those. They weren't built for that. And so what happens is you'll have spasms that kind of start out here, and they run up and they grab at the base of the head where they attach. And that tension is what causes the headaches behind your eyes. And so again, if you're suffering from headaches, water, high blood pressure, cervicogenic, if it's that third one, call us.
Okay. Now, it doesn't always have to be, like you said, people don't align a headache with what you do, and also you don't have to be in an accident to get treated. Right. I know people that do sports, and like you said, sometimes just you fall a little and that changes.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about...
Especially in the pelvis. So, you know, when you have falls, like in your pelvis, you've got your two hip bones that connect, and you've got a sacrum or a tailbone. And so if you fall, it's very easy to cause a shift in your pelvis or to have it drop. Okay, and when that happens, you're throwing this is your foundation. So you're throwing your entire spine off balance, and it affects how you transmit your body weight. So when you have this kind of imbalance, now you've got more body weight going down one leg than the other, which will also cause knee problems. So we have a lot of people, you know, sports injuries and stuff, or that have, you know, had a history of running that can no longer run because they've developed this knee pain too, back pain, knee pain, and really all it takes is balancing the pelvis, you know, and again, that's what we do.
And, you know, now that you mention, I would say 80% of resales that I sell in real estate are because they can't go up the stairs any longer. Okay? And not everyone had, you know, in their lives done sports or an accident. So how could that have been prevented?
Well, it only takes you stepping off a curb wrong, you know, or if you work in construction and you're constantly, or not just construction, but like at assembly lines in production, and you're constantly doing the same motion all the time, your body will adapt to that position that you spend the majority of your life in. And so again, if you have a drop in your pelvis and a rotation, over time, that's going to wear out the soft tissue, the cushions that are in your knees, the cushions that are in your spine. And so if we can get you, like when you first feel that pain, and it doesn't have to be, you know, like a pain that takes you down, just a discomfort. You know, pain is the body's way of telling you something's wrong. So you don't want to ignore pain. So if we can just balance the pelvis and take out that rotation, it's gone like this. And you can totally avoid the wearing down and wearing out of that soft tissue and that, you know, degenerative change that happens with so many years of that.
Wow. You know, as much as I would love to keep selling more houses because of, you know, whatever reason, I would prefer to help someone have a different, better lifestyle and not, you know, have them in a position where they have to sell because they have a health condition that prevents them from continuing to enjoy their dream home that they bought initially with the intent to stay there forever. It makes me sad when this happens.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes me sadder to know that it could have been prevented. So a lot of people don't get treated because they feel or they fear that it may be too expensive, and it's surprisingly not that expensive.
No, And especially in our clinics, we take, all forms of health insurance. So, major medical health insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, but we also have very affordable cash plans. So our patients that don't have health insurance typically end up paying about the same as our patients that do have health insurance, because for me, it's very important to me that we keep our treatment affordable for the average person. Because again, it's our people, our laborers that need chiropractic the most, and I want them to be able to afford it. And, we make up for that in volume. So I will always keep the prices affordable.
Wow.
And we'll just see more people.
That is so great.
Yes.
I really do appreciate everything that you do, and keeping the prices, affordable and accessible to everyone. Can you tell us just a little bit more about your success story? Because I just love your background, the things that you mentioned earlier about where you come from and not having everything on a silver platter.
So, yes, like I said before, I come from a small town in the country of North Carolina, furniture capital of the world. And I come from a family with a very strong work ethic, both sides. A lot of my family was in furniture. My mother was actually the first person in our family to have a college degree, and she got a 2-year associate's degree. She was a young mother. I was an accident. So I told her I was the best accident she ever had.
The best one.
Yes. So I was not planned. My mother was young. My dad worked in furniture, still works in furniture. I was the first person in my family to go to university. So I'm the first 4-year degree, and then I decided to take it on to doctorate. So I went on for 8 years. But when I graduated from chiropractic school, again, I put myself through school. I got student loans, still paying those off. They don't go away.
Those damn
They don't.
student loans.
They're terrible.
Yes, they are.
It's terrible. It's a trick. But
it's a trick.
Yeah, so I didn't come out with this big bunch of money to start a practice. And so I had to go work as an associate. And so I looked for, I looked for a job. I wanted to go to Charlotte. And then, so I, went after this job in Charlotte, but then they actually were opening a clinic in Greenville. So asked me if I would be willing to open this clinic for them in Greenville. So sure. I took that job, and it was kind of funny because when they found out that I spoke Spanish, he sent someone in to test me, and I hadn't practiced in 4 years. And so I'm sitting there, and she's kind of being hard on me.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted me. So I'm like, ¿Cómo está? ¿Cuántos niños tienes? Just like simple little Spanish questions. So she went back and told her she can't speak Spanish. And he's like, can she learn? And she was like, I don't know. And he was like, she's hired. So,
well, I'm glad they hired you.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got the clinic in Greenville, and we built it from the ground up.
Okay.
Nobody knew who we were, so it was a lot of just grassroots marketing. And you don't want to spend a ton of money when you're starting a practice or you're starting any sort of business. Like, at that time, Yellow Pages was popular.
Oh,
and Yellow Pages could be anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 a month.
Oh, no.
A month,
wow.
Yes. And so we started kind of getting into radio, into Spanish radio, and also doing community events.
Okay.
So we would set up tents at, the concerts or at the Mother's Day events or the Colombian Festival or the Mexican Independence Day. And so literally just out there checking people and educating people. And I also, I was out doing presentations to medical doctors and, to the hospitals, and just really kind of pounding the pavement with that. Nobody here had really done that before. So that's something that I started with a lot of lunch and learns and educating the MDs on what we do.
Trendsetter here. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's always being someone that was going to medical school and then last minute switched and decided to be a chiropractor. The combination and the relationship between them, if done properly, is a beautiful thing. Because your MDs, we need them. We need them for acute illnesses, for infections, for organic diseases. But when it comes to musculoskeletal conditions and problems, they're not that good.
Oh, God.
Yeah. There can be some improvement there. So, but that's what we do. And so if we, work together and we stay in our box, it's a beautiful relationship. So I really wanted to promote that. So I did a lot of that. So now we have strong relationships with orthopedic spine surgeons, GPs, urgent cares, ERs. So it was a lot of work. But in that first year, let's see, I saw almost 1,000 patients in that first year.
Wow.
So, and then it's just at this point, I've treated over 15,000 patients in the Upstate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lives that you've changed.
Yes. And then being a female, here in the South, especially in the Upstate, this is a good old boy network.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and I'm not a good old boy, and I'm not here, and I don't come from a family that's known here, and that was a big challenge for me. And again, being a female in a man's world, and having to deal with these, some of these older, prominent, professional men here.
You are just an empowered woman, and so far, the things that you're sharing with me tells me that you are not a follower.
No.
You are definitely a trendsetter. Everything you do is different than everybody else, and that's what makes you special.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, I mean, you have two clinics where most of your team is completely bilingual, right? You're bilingual yourself. You took on these huge challenges. They threw you obstacles like this lady that really didn't want you to get the job, and you got it. You just got things done. And you're doing the best that you can to help people promote, just knowledge. You're sharing all this information, you're educating people, you're changing their lives, and you're keeping this affordable and accessible to everyone. That is unheard of. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people, when they hear I can't even pronounce it right. People like me can pronounce it. A chiropractor.
Yes, it's
right?
chiropractic. In Spanish, it's chiropractic.
Okay. Well, most people think that's a lot of money. Right? And thank you for what you do. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's important. I have people that have suffered for 25, 30 years and have actually been to chiropractic in the area. And I've developed a very special treatment protocol. We combine computerized adjusting. We have the latest in technology. So I have digital x-ray. I'm not, if you go somewhere and they don't x-ray you, that's a red flag.
Okay.
Get out, because we need to make sure that this is actually a chiropractic problem and that you don't have a tumor or something else that you need to have medically treated instead of chiropractic. So we want to scan for that, but also it gives me an accurate picture of what I'm dealing with. And so we create all of our treatment plans specifically for each patient. It is customized just for you, all of it. And we combine chiropractic, physical therapy, and massage therapy all in one place because I feel like all three of them are crucial to success, and the combination of this and the way that we carry out our treatment plans, we have a 90% success rate.
Wow, that's also unheard of. I had friends, okay? I'm not gonna say names, but they did try other chiropractors, and it didn't work. It didn't work. Like this headache lady that I was telling you about, she went to your clinic and the problem was gone, and it was life-changing for her.
I can imagine living with headaches every day. That's terrible. And a lot of people think headaches are normal. They're like, oh yeah, it's normal headache. Headaches are never normal.
Right.
Headaches, again, any pain in your body is a sign of a problem. And, in America, we have such a problem right now with the opiate crisis, right? Yeah. And so people would rather take a pill or, a version of a pill to just numb it. When you take a pill for pain, all it does, it's equivalent to taking the batteries out of the smoke detector. The fire's still there. You just cut off your signal. Right? And so what we do is get to the cause of that. If it's a musculoskeletal cause, we get to the cause of that and we correct it. It's kind of like having braces for your spine, but no metal, right?
No metal.
No metal.
Oh my God, I really like that. In your experience, what has been the most, emotional situation that you've been through with a patient?
Okay. So the most emotional one, I had a 15-year-old girl, and I met them at, the Mexican consulate was here doing an event, to do passports and stuff. So we had a booth out there and I met them, and this little girl had scoliosis pretty badly. Scoliosis is when you develop an S-curve in your spine. And so we gave them a free consultation to come in from that day, and they came in, they paid for the x-rays, and it is the worst scoliosis that I've ever seen. Even now, at this point in my career, it's still the worst one that I've ever seen. Parents didn't speak any English. They were from Mexico. And when I showed her x-rays, the father cried. And that was a lot for me. When you see how bad it is. And then I found out that what had happened was her mother was breastfeeding her other child when she became pregnant with this one. And so the nutrients, like was missing a kidney, just all kinds of issues.
God.
So with scoliosis, at a certain point, it becomes surgical. And at another point, like in the progression, it becomes to where you have to put orthopedic braces. And so looking at this girl fell, she was at a 30-degree scoliosis. Okay, so between 20 and 40 degrees, typically you have to brace, which is a hard cast plastic brace that she would have had to wear all the time. She's 15 in high school, right? And so we actually ended up doing that case pro bono. I had to talk to my boss at that time, and I'm like, please, can I just do this? Because they didn't have the money. And so I told them if they could get the money together to consult with an orthopedic, that we would do the treatment pro bono, and let's just see what we can do. So they did. And she came back, and we did a 3-month treatment plan on this girl. And we took her from a 30-degree scoliosis to a 19-degree scoliosis, which means she didn't have to be braced.
Wow.
And I continued to treat her until she was 18. She just came in for maintenance. And at that point, the growth plates close, and then you're out of danger. And so I think that was the most emotional one that I ever had. There have been a lot of others, but that one was definitely the most emotional.
Oh my God. When I said that you changed lives, I was talking about, someone not having headaches anymore, but this is huge. Yep. And these are things that we don't know that you guys are capable of doing. So it's just amazing that you are sharing this with us right now, because I have learned just this short talk with you has just given me so much information that I did not have.
That's the goal.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
Thank you. So that was a huge emotional story and successful one.
Still gets me every time.
And you know what? That is great, because we want to see not just the great doctor that you are, but also the human in you.
I'm a crier. Sorry. I'm a crier. But yeah, I mean, there's so many stories. When it comes to kids, it's even more touching. But, people have been suffering for so long here, and a lot of it's needless. Like we're here, we most likely can help. And if I can't help you, I will send you to someone who can, because I've built this network of doctors. So if you need an ortho, if I think you need surgery, if you're beyond me, we're not going to take your money.
Right.
I'm going to send you where you need to go, because that's the right thing to do. And that's how we are. Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. And I feel like when you give, the universe gives back.
I totally agree. And I really respect you for that. And I'm just admiring everything that you do. Thank you so much for what you're doing, for sharing this with us right now. It's just so touching, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
We have a lot to do.
Yes.
We have a lot of work to do, and I'm in it, and my team's in it, and, we're committed.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your team?
Oh, okay. So we now have 14 employees.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Wow. I started with 1. Now I have 14.
Awesome.
So we have 2 doctors. Dr. Robles is also with me. He's in the Greenville office the majority of the time. I have 3 massage therapists, and then all of the rest of my girls. Dahlia Urias is my office manager. She's my big clinic director, and then each office has a manager as well. I have Angie Garcia and Belim Gomez that are leading those teams, and then Dahlia backing those girls. And, again, so we're really big on patient education. So my girls are very trained so they can explain everything to you. If it's a car accident, if it's a fall, or just, what your reported findings was from your x-rays. My girls are there to help you with the paperwork, explain what this means, explain the financials, explain how it works, and to help you all along the way. My back CAs that actually put you through the therapy. I have Melanie in Spartanburg and Michelle Alvarez in Greenville. They're right there with you the whole time as well, educating you not only on what to do, but why you're doing it. Because we believe that an educated patient is going to be more invested in the treatment because you understand why you're doing it.
Right.
So.
Well, we actually met a few of your team members outside of the office, and they're so passionate about what they do that's literally all they talk about.
Well, good. I'm training them well.
Yes.
But it's a big thing. We're actually all going to a training in Florida next week. There's this group that I belong to nationwide, and it's about this to be part of something bigger than yourself,
Right.
you know, and it's not just a job, it's a mission.
It's a mission.
It's a mission. And we have, you know, we're doing great things and we're excited about it because we see it. So whenever a patient finishes a corrective plan, and we have different types of treatment plans, not everybody falls in the same box. It depends on what you have. But when a patient finishes one of our like corrective plans or longer treatment plans, I like to bring my staff in to actually see the before and after x-rays, because we're going to show you before and after, so you actually can see your results. But I like for my staff to see that too, because, you know, when we're busy and, you know, we're working hard and we're face sweating because we're seeing 50 people a day, sometimes you forget why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
And so I like to bring everyone in so that they can actually see that before and after, and just remind them of this is why you're doing what you do.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much again for sharing all this information. Is there anything that you'd like to end this video with for our audience?
I would just like to say that if you're suffering now, or you've been suffering from years from body pain or headaches or sciatica, if you get injured in an accident or you fall, it's so important to fix it, and fix it now, because we can prevent those problems later. You know, what you do now, especially in your 20s, 30s, determines how your body and how your life is going to be at 50, 60, 70. So don't wait. You know, in Spanish, we're always like, para de sufrir. Stop suffering. You know,
Right.
Stop suffering. Give us a
Right.
try. You'll know within 4 weeks if this is for you or not.
That was actually deep, because I don't want to get older and then have to pay the consequences. Thank you again so much. Guys, just call her. How can they get a hold of you?
Carolina Spine and Health, you can look us up online. You can look us up on Facebook. We have Carolina Spine and Health for Greenville and Spartanburg. The Greenville number is 864-232-2292. And again, everyone's, you know, fully bilingual, so Spanish, English, llámanos.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And just stay tuned. We're going to give you more information. We're going to bring more professionals and great humans to our shows that have just a lot to share with you guys. Mwah, we love you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of America's Property Show. Know someone that will love the show? Want to know what we're up to off the mic and keep up with real estate trends? Follow us on all social media platforms at America's Properties. Make sure to subscribe and drop a DM to join the conversation. This was America's Property Show.